Yeah.
This is the Ask Gary Vee show. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing super well. Do you have a question for Dustin or I?
Absolutely. So I've been kicking around some different strategies. So my question is, I'm an economic development director in McCook, Nebraska, population about 7,600. And what we're trying to do is really make rural America a relevant place for entrepreneurs and people to do business. And in a competitive market, you know, we're on an international scale with the internet and trying to really make our mark in the business world today. So my question is, you know, rural America has some advantages with cheaper cost of living and some other advantages, but what are some things that are attractive as an entrepreneur to do business in rural communities?
So when you talked about internet on an international scale, you're talking about the speed of your fiber and how fast your internet is?
Yes, not necessarily in rural America, because we're just now getting to that, but you know, being able to do business internationally. I mean, there's someone down the street that probably sells purses to someone in China.
Yeah, of course.
So how do we make those businesses?
So you're trying to figure out how to recruit entrepreneurs to move into your city.
Yeah. So is it recruitment, or is it an organic process where I just have to breed entrepreneurs and hope they don't leave?
Yeah. So they're going to leave. And that's what you're trying to stop, right? So let's break it down, right? So, for example, Ev Williams, who is my number one favorite consumer internet entrepreneur, invented Blogger, was on the founding team of Twitter, invented Medium, literally my favorite internet entrepreneur. You know, Zucks and Bezos, I think, are better overall, but my favorite, because he's done it multiple times, Ev Williams, he's from Nebraska, right? So, like, they're gonna leave. I think, you know, but here's what's funny about entrepreneurs. They're very similar. They're salespeople. Salespeople are the best. If a salesperson has a base salary and she or he has a big bonus based on that, you could literally say anything. You could say, Sally, if you walk backwards in the desert screaming, you know, lyrics, that's how you get your bonus. She will do that. They just reverse engineer how to get their bonus. Same with entrepreneurs. The way smaller towns compete with San Francisco, New York, LA is a couple ways. Number one, you get lucky as hell. You get a generational entrepreneur who's in love with your small town, and she or he decides never to leave, and they become the poster child that attracts others. That's super ridiculously hard, getting harder and harder. Number two, money. The amount of money that your city wastes on dumb shit that they could throw at entrepreneurs to subsidize their overhead or pay them a stipend is super simple. It's very basic. It's emotional to the taxpayers, but at a macroeconomic level, it works so often. So, AKA, you can bribe them. Like, you would not believe how quick I would open a VaynerMedia office in your town if you paid me $13 million right now. Right? So I don't think you're throwing around $13 million. So there's different versions of that, because you could have gotten a VaynerMedia office 7 years ago for $1 million and probably 9 years ago for $44, right? So there's that. And then number three, you create some sort of narrative of whether it's quality of, you flip the switch or the script. You find a narrative of like health benefits, you know, the quality of life. You go to the small percentage of hippiness that sits in an entrepreneur, where where they want to raise their children, or some other kind of hook. It's all about hooks. It's the hook in a song. I'm sure you guys can probably explain much better than me, is pretty damn important. Absolutely. And helps something become a hit. Yep. You're gonna, entrepreneurs are gonna come to a very small town of 7,600 if it's financially viable, or if you can pull at some emotional string. And the way to do that is to reverse engineer the individual. If I worked with you, I would make a map of 250 obtainable entrepreneurs that we think are on the cusp of building a business. And then I would figure out what makes them emotional, and whether it's a donation to a charity where they lost their parents, or whether it's the fact that they love some sort of comic book hero and we're this is getting very granular. You basically pierce their emotional center and what I would call guilt or excite them into moving there. So it's either bribing or guilting. Dustin, thoughts?
Second that. Yeah.
Let me throw something else at you. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is they try to sell the unsellable. So when you make your target list of 250, it might not be a good idea to try to reach out to Zucks and make Facebook open up shop. I think being really, 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 really smart, Andrew, about who you target, looking for somebody who's just spiking, running a lot of queries on Google, trends or Google alerts on entrepreneurs that are winning. I would also do a lot of listening. I would ask you, what's the biggest university by you?
University of Nebraska Lincoln is in Lincoln. That's about 3.5 hours away, and we have a local community college here.
Got it. So I would highly, highly try to figure out how to hack Lincoln, get a real presence there, get a surrogate, really set up shop there, and try to seduce some of the individuals there. But again, if I'm tweeting, can't wait to get to the big city, gonna fuck up the world, you shouldn't come to me because you got nothing for me. But if I'm talking about if I'm on your radar because I have a small business and I tweeted a month ago getting homesick and you see that I came from a town of 506, that might be a good target. I am blown away by people's great ambitions. You have a great ambition. You have a small town, right? And you want to get great entrepreneurs to come to you in the face of Silicon Valley, New York City, and LA. That is a tough task. For you to do anything other than enormous amounts of homework to reverse engineer the 3 to 5 individuals that can do this for you would be a grave mistake, and you have no chance. So these little details I'm giving you are really the fighting chance that you have. It has to be practical and obtainable.
Got it.
Make sense?
Perfect. Absolutely. Thank you for your time, guys.
My pleasure.
Thanks,
Take
Andy.
care.
See you.